Hello, Bitcoin and crypto traders, checking in on the markets. So we have been correlating significantly to the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq while it has been trading from about 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on a daily basis. But here we are heading into the weekend where we don't need to worry about that for the next 48 hours. Are the bulls positioned well? Are our weekly higher lows set? And did we get those entries that we were looking for on daily higher lows? Let's update where we stand. So here's QQQ on the daily time frame. We started the day with further weakness. It seemed like it was never going to end, and then we saw a very significant bounce. Have not changed the hourly trend yet, but this is one of the most significant bounces we have seen on this pullback, and might as well throw it in. I'm watching the futures chart in NAS 100 USD, and I'm watching a 4-hour falling support line, and this helped me keep some conviction with looking to buy dips recently. So keeping an eye on this pattern, as long as it remains intact, we have a little bit of a broadening wedge pattern, and we know we need to change the daily trend. Why does this matter in the cryptocurrency space? Again, the correlation and the bots are there, whether you want it to be or not. It's the fact of the matter. So we hit a low at 1125 on the Nasdaq today, and Bitcoin, what were we doing at 1125 this morning? We were bottoming out, and we bounced into the rest of the day, and it's exactly what the Nasdaq did. I watch QQQ during regular trading hours. I watch NAS 100 USD when it is extended hours for the futures market. That is going to matter. There's a number of things we can say. People look at correlations, and because they're not always there and they're not always the same, they ignore them or dismiss them. When in reality, they're extremely important and they're constantly changing, which means we need to stay on top of them every single day. What we can say from the current correlation is it is a bullish correlation for Bitcoin. We are in a much better standpoint. So while we are definitely reacting with the stock market in both directions, it favors the bulls. And the analogy that I give is essentially when the stock market is taking 2 steps back, Bitcoin is taking 1 step back, and then for every step forward, Bitcoin is taking a step forward. So it's not pulling back as much, but it is benefiting from the bullish action. So we have this bullish reversal candle on the daily. It's coming from a very clear lower low. And you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's a bullish reversal candle on the daily, and it's coming from a higher low. So in the last video, we were talking about where are bulls looking for entries? And the answer was we are looking for entries on a daily higher low. We ended up pulling back $6,000? Yeah, $6,000 from that daily lower high, and now we've got a daily higher low. I personally am sticking with the positions that I already have for a swing, which I entered initially on the way up, and I did not add on this pullback because I was busy trading stocks and adding bullish stocks, and the last thing I want to do is get overexposed in one direction. So because there was still fear in the market on that pullback, I was focusing on stocks. I traded NIO a ton today, and just going to be content with the position sizes that I do have. If I see a setup that I like, I will add here, because what the bulls want to see for complete control through this weekend is a confirmed daily trend change back in their favor. If we can see this higher low and then a bull break of 52.6K, that is a confirmed daily trend change. And as soon as that happens, we instantly increase significantly the possibility of a weekly bull flag. So if I see a setup that I like, maybe next time we pull back on the 4-hour, any entries that I make from here will be based off of 46,000 support. Because if 46,000 were to break from here, it would be a bit of a short-term red flag for me. Not a major red flag, but just got to be more patient. Might take another couple weeks of consolidation. But we're looking for weekly higher lows on SPY, on Bitcoin, on the US marijuana stocks. They're all doing the same thing, just to varying degrees. And again, Bitcoin is on the bullish end of that spectrum. The dominance chart continues to show us absolutely no information. So we continue to look at individual coins and how they fare against BTC. ETH/USD has seen a daily higher low attempting to form as well. We have a 4-hour little bit, you look at this and you say, is that a trend change? We hit a low, we bounced, we very quickly held support, and then saw continuation. So I will call these daily higher lows being set if once this candle closes in an hour and 37 minutes, if we break the high of this candle, that's a daily higher low being set for me. Again, it's not crystal clear. It's not your ideal kind of trend change that everybody can look to and say, yep, there it is. But it's enough for me where again, if this daily candle closes and then we break the high, daily higher low is set and we're looking to 52.6 thousand resistance from here. And if that was our low in the stock market and we bounce to start next week and we change the daily trend into the end of next week, then Bitcoin's going to be looking back at all-time highs, in my opinion, very quickly. ETH BTC, still struggling to bounce. It's just sideways. And this chart has not changed at all in the last 8 days. And we know a change is coming soon because we can't get much tighter than this. But if we're looking at it on the 12-hour time frame, we've got just this channel. And it's tight. And it's going to break sometime in the next 3 days, I would say. If we get a bull break, I would zoom out and scout a weekly lower high. If we get a bear break, there's a lack of support, and we're still scouting a weekly higher low on a bear break. ADA USDT has been one of the stronger names. It's looking for a daily higher low. But the size of the pullback means we need to be a little bit cautious because we did pull back roughly 30%, and we have to just be watching for the potential that a bounce results in a daily lower high. If Bitcoin heads back towards all-time highs, this chart's likely going to remain very bullish. And again, the daily uptrend is going to be our simple guide here. But just keep it in the back of your mind, there is a possibility that we bounce, fail 149, and then confirm a daily downtrend and start weekly consolidation for the first time since, that's the first time in a long time. We haven't consolidated on the weekly since 12 cents. That's 1,000+% move since our last weekly consolidation. When that is the case, in the back of your mind, always remind yourself, weekly consolidation at any point would not be surprising at all. And that's how I've been viewing the stock market on these names that have been running 500, 1,000%, like Tesla and some of these EV names like NIO. They have run that much without any monthly consolidation. So we're now seeing that monthly consolidation, and it shouldn't be surprising because it's overdue. So again, I'm not calling a top on ADA, but I can easily say that the next time we see weekly consolidation, it won't be surprising in the slightest. ADA BTC is the same daily chart, trying to set the higher low. Let's zoom in. Have we changed the 4-hour? I would say no. It's a little bit more clear here than Bitcoin. Anything under 126.6 is a 4-hour lower high, and then the bulls are hoping that that is enough space to change the 4-hour trend, which would set the daily higher low. And then we watch to see, can the bulls break 149? If we are going to break 149, we need this increasing bull volume. If we do not have the increasing bull volume, the daily lower high is the more likely scenario. And watch that pairing on the Bitcoin chart because it needs the same thing, and it is still very correlated. If we change the 4-hour trend, we watch for the potential of a daily lower high. And this is a scenario where even if ADA USDT breaks 150 and gets a little bit of follow through, if this chart does not and sets a lower high, that can be a little bit of an early clue to potentially take some profit if we see the US dollar pairing see continuation, but not the Bitcoin pairing. And percentage-wise, we are a bit off. And what I mean by that is we need 33% for continuation on this chart, and on the US dollar pairing chart, we only need 25, 26%. Not a huge difference. Binance, BNB USDT, still in a tight daily range. So if we're just looking at the last week and a half of action, this is all I care about. Low of the pullback, high of the initial bounce, higher low, lower high, and scouting a higher low. If I am an aggressive bull, I'm playing off 195 here and making an entry and using that as my stop. If we break bullish, I have great risk reward. Because let's say I enter at 228 here, I'm risking $35 on a bear break. And if we were to get a bull break, we would be looking up at a $50 plus move. So getting real tight, and that tells me that volatility is coming in Binance, and this pattern will break sometime within the next 4 days, I'd say 5 at most. And whenever I'm estimating like that, I'm just visualizing the candles. How many candles can we keep fitting in this tightening range? And we could bounce for 2 days and set one more little lower high, then one more little higher low, and then a break pretty much has to take place. Binance BTC, same chart, same tight pattern. Support 452, bulls need to hold that level, set a daily higher low. And again, worst case scenario for the bulls is if both charts break bearish. Best case is if both charts break bullish, and it'll be choppy won't be choppy, but it'll be less clear if one breaks and the other doesn't, or if they go in different directions. Link USD, daily higher low trying to be set, big drop. We know there's a lot of volatility in Link, but that means a lot of opportunity for those that like trading that volatility. So if this daily candle closes and we get some follow through tomorrow, our daily higher low is set at 25.66, and it's up to the bulls to break 31.44 to confirm the daily trend change and confirm that our weekly higher low is being set. And the Binance pairing is correlated for the bulls. It's doing the same thing, and it needs to do the same thing, confirming that trend change on the daily to set the weekly higher low. The weekly chart looks a lot different, but the last week and a half of action is very similar. And that's what the bulls want to see. LTC USD continues to be an example where it is not the ideal positioning for the Bitcoin pairing. That being said, pay attention to this tight range because it is tightening up on this Bitcoin pairing as well. And if they both break bullish at the same time, US dollar and Bitcoin pairing, that's when we see those fast, granted short-lived moves, but they can last a day or two, and that's where we see some decent gains. So keep an eye on that tight range on Litecoin, especially if the Bitcoin and US dollar pairing both break at the same time. Haven't checked in on Sushi in a while, so let's do it now. So daily bull break with a lack of follow through, but still in an uptrend, scouting a higher low. I'm interested in it here because it was a bull flag on the Bitcoin pairing on the weekly that had some of my attention. And it failed, at least initially. Still in a daily uptrend, but if we lose those daily higher lows, that is a weekly lower high being set and a failed bull flag. So that's important to be paying attention to. One more, YFI BTC. Watched it a while ago, stopped watching it, and it is still bearish. So nothing there for the bulls. Worth keeping an eye on. It's a falling wedge, but this is the weekly time frame, so maybe it's going to take, a month before we get any kind of resolution here. It's an equilibrium. Bulls need to hold 5.9. Let's see if this Bitcoin pairing holds that and continues this tightening weekly equilibrium. So all in all, again, bulls cannot be upset with where we stand. All things considered, it's looking good. GBTC just had negative premium for a long time. Not a long time, a few days. But finally seeing the bounce with the broader market, negative premium. And when I see negative premium, what I'm just envisioning is everybody rushing to the exit on a ship or in a movie theater that's on fire or whatever. Let's not make it that violent, but everybody's trying to get out at the same time, and they're willing to pay premium to get out, essentially. They're willing to forego any premium, and they're willing to bail at a discount to just exit. And again, that's fear. Fear causes that irrational rush to the exit. And that's what we saw with these negative premiums on both ETHE and GBTC. So that was a potential opportunity where if all else were equal, it would make more sense to be buying GBTC than Bitcoin. It's not all else equal because, again, now your hands are tied if you're in GBTC all weekend. There's a lot less control. And, of course, you don't own your own coins, which is another factor. But it's an opportunity, and we're seeing that bounce now. So nice strong bounce today from that low. And, again, you look back and say, okay, well, GBTC just hit the lowest price that it's seen on this entire pullback, and we got down to levels that we have not seen since February 5th. If Bitcoin had done that same thing, where were we on February 5th? We were trading down at 38 to 36,000, and obviously we're nowhere near that. And so that's how you can visualize the premium, where we would have been 20 to 30% lower if we were going to be in the same spot where GBTC was trading. So just interesting to observe, and again, a little opportunity, but it required the broader market to bounce to start to see some of that discount erode. And we'll see if it starts to build a premium again if that market fear continues to evaporate next week. Watch QQQ. I think that's how I ended my last video. Watch QQQ. It's a bullish correlation, but it matters. So all in all, at this point, to see a major red flag, we would have to break our low of the current consolidation. Very simple if-then statement. If the low of consolidation holds, then the bulls keep complete control on the weekly time frame. So we'll see how this weekend plays out. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to do good things.